Mr. Benjamin Banobio, no, Director of Electoral Services, Electoral Commission, no, and what they are to just say, and Shaya, Modi Egua Pines on Yadia, Ubibenya Quenya say, Quakuria Abano Emu, Nalinian say, Asumje, Ebedi, Nempo, Pepe, no Cardian so, Ebecoso, Ewo Abato, Warren P. Edunu, and Yadunu Nine, no Emu.
Nobody can do anything without it being detected. If you come to the printing houses, let me take you from there. We have the political parties representative there. After printing, during packaging, they are there. We give them the quantities of all the ballot papers together with their serial numbers to each region and to each district and to each constituency and to each polling station. When we are transporting the ballot papers to the regions and to the district, the political parties are with us. In fact, as we seal the bags, they also put their seals there. It gets to the regions, they are there. We don't keep them at the office, we keep them at the police armory. The police will give us, in fact, we buy new padlock, place it there, political parties place theirs there, and when it's getting closer, we all go there, break unlock the padlocks, and then check to see that the quantity we brought from head office are the same. Then the police escort them to the constituencies. The political party follows us. On election day, 2 days to election day, that's where we do the packaging. The political parties are there. When we are sending them to the polling station, they are there with us. Poll starts at 7 o'clock, they are there. And even when we give the materials to them, they have to check before they start voting. The political parties are there. There's a checklist they check. And during voting, we first have to open the ballot box and show to the public that there's nothing in the ballot box. Then we put it in an open place and seal them. Parties have the right to put their seals. After voting, we break the seals and count them there and then. Forms are completed. Then we give copies to all the political parties, and a copy is brought to the Electoral Commission. Then our officer will bring his to the constituency center. We take it from all the polling stations within that constituency. Then we collate and then declare the results for the parliamentary election and announce that of the presidential election. That polling station result sheet, the pin sheet, it serves as the basic document for declaring results at all levels. So if a political party is well organized, after the polling station results have been announced, within 45 or 1 hour, the party will know how he is faring as to whether he has won or not. It gets to the constituency center. It's just a polling station within that constituency results that are added up. It gets to the regional collation center. It's just the results from the constituencies that are added up. And at every level, the parties are with us. When it gets to head office, we only collect the results from the 16 regions. And so you see, the system is so transparent and verifiable. So if somebody says that Electoral Commission has done it, you can ask the person, how did it happen? So as a commission, what we have set ourselves to do is to ensure that we put in place a system that will prevent cheating, a system that will be so transparent. And in the end, the results that will be declared will be a true reflection of the desire of the people who voted. This is the only means to ensure peaceful election, and we as a commission, we are committed to that.
And some Krona Imana Mohammed, or no, acting director at the NCC, and so adding some Donald Tuja, a fast from Jehu de Rayabo, a Cosisa, a battle Abano, a moon watcher, say, Ampo, Sabibia Nina, so when 2 and 2 be, Mitim Wasi be, a Coso, Abatu, and Mobia Famra, and Shannon Sa, now police, and I say, one fan court, and no yadia, a beboa, a yipa.
We are talking about election 2024, and we are talking about peace as the foundation for the success of the election. It has been said that Ghana has already conducted 8 successive elections, some of which have resulted into transfer of power from a ruling party to a party in opposition. That is a feat which has not been achieved by many other countries. The fact that we conduct elections and in the face of very close results, we hand over power and we hold ourselves as Ghanaians is something that we should be proud of, and is something that we should not toy with. We have bestowed on ourselves a constitution that circumscribes citizens' rights and freedoms. Chapter 6 of our constitution, for example, declares the directive principles of state policy, which is a sort of a guiding light on how this country should be governed. And in that chapter, our constitution commits us to democracy. One of the basic objectives of chapter 6 is the political objective. And among other things, says that the sovereignty, the power of the state, resides in the people of the state. It is within this context that every 4 years, we organize elections and we select leaders, having at the back of our minds that it is impossible for all of us to become presidents and become members of parliament. We have to hand over that mandate to some selected few. And within that context, democracy and the values that democracy espouses, the power to use the thumb to select a leader, becomes very crucial. That is unrivaled by other forms of government. In Ghana, luckily or unluckily, we've tasted different forms of government, from colonial rule, one-party rule, military regimes, and so on and so forth. The most durable of all this regime has been this democratic dispensation we are observing that spans over 30 years. And as we go into these 2024 elections for the National Commission for Civic Education, there are issues that we have flagged as matters that as Ghanaians we should pay attention to. We are holding this election within the period where the media has become so vibrant. We have traditional and we have social media. Holding this election within the context of social media, that you wake up in the morning and already your WhatsApp platform, your Facebook are inundated by messages that you don't know even who sent them to you. So the issue of misinformation, disinformation, we should be very, very alert of that. It is not anything that is shared to us on WhatsApp. It's true. And the temptation is that once you have seen it, you also do what? We forward to other people. Please, let's cross-check. Unfortunately, we have a very vibrant traditional media houses that could be the source of information and credibility to us. Secondly, NCCE, we acknowledge, rightly so as espoused by our constitution, unity in diversity. We have 16 regions, we have over 40 languages. It is not these differences that should divide us. It is the differences that we should celebrate. And by this election, we should reinforce our celebration of these differences. Because it is Ghana, among very few countries, that on Christmas Day, you have Muslims and Christians celebrating together. As a Muslim, on my Salah Day, I receive more congratulatory messages from my Christian brothers and sisters. Even though I'm not able to share the meat and the rice to everybody, but I do my best. So this is a gift from God that we should not toy with. What we are doing as National Commission for Civic Education is to reinforce interfaith dialogue. We create platforms, Muslim, Christians, we hold street walks together, we hold peace marches to reinforce, because in as much as we live this peacefully, there are also fault lines. Just one unguarded pronouncement, right, could evoke passions. peace, as we see, can also be fragile. You celebrate it. The slightest thing can lead to a spark. So we are calling on Ghanaians. Let's guard against utterances that could provoke one section against another and reinforce our peaceful coexistence. Now, we have a very young population, very youthful. If you look at our current population, what they call the census, people below the age of 35 years constitute more than 70% of the population. The youth, which make about 15 to 35, constitute more than 30% of our population. And most of the times, we don't find them in spaces that we adults are. The youth are mostly concerned with our Facebook handles and media, WhatsApp handles and so on and so forth. So when we organize dialogue platforms like this, we find it difficult to get them to attend. But we can find them in our homes as parents. We can find them in churches as pastors. We find them in classrooms as teachers. Let's use this media to let the young persons understand that the destiny of this country is actually in their hands, because the future is theirs. And in the past, the mantra has been that the youth are the future leaders. But it has changed. The youth are the leaders of the day, because the technological advancement that we have achieved today, with a click of a button, you can read the histories of 1,000 years ago, and they are in that space. So we should let them understand, while in other countries, young persons have responded to populism that has overthrew democratic regimes, we shouldn't let that thing happen to us. We want development as Ghana. And there is no way we can get development if we don't have peace. To conclude, let's reinforce the fact that as we go into these elections, we should uphold and make use of state institutions. State institutions in handling grievances. Our constitution is well aware of democratic tenets, are well aware of conflicts and disagreements. So if you look at the constitution and the institutional arrangement that we have, they are so elaborate that any grievance that you have, there is a place to go to. If you are unhappy with anything that happens during election, the security services are there. On election day, apart from the electoral officers, political parties have their representative. So if you are aggrieved because you are a member of your political party, first of all, if you contact your representative at the polling station, the police are there, the courts are there. These arrangements could come with their challenges, but they are the best as against taking laws into our own hands. And as we go into this election, let's remember, National Commission for Civic Education, our theme for the year is that together we can build Ghana. So get involved. Let us avoid voter apathy. In some countries, they send the ballot boxes and people don't even go to vote. And when you don't vote, you have no right to complain when things go wrong. Let us keep and respect the procedures that state institutions have arranged for us for voting and uphold them after voting. In every electoral cycle and every election that we conduct, somebody will win, others may not be lucky. But the fact that you can also win the next day will depend on your ability to contribute to the sustenance of the peace that we are enjoying today. That will give you the opportunity to win an election tomorrow. If you take the laws into your own hands and we break our peace, probably, may God forbid, we will not have a Ghana to conduct an election for you to win and come and rule. So together we can build Ghana. Let's all get involved.
Mr. Richard Kofi Akosa, one of our founder and CEO of the Maritime Think Foundation. ade nsɛm dodo na etodwa efa sɛ wɔn de wo sɛ wɔn yɛ bia asasomdwe bedi he ɛwɔ bato no de wɔn de agu akwan mu nti de mo kan nyina ne sɛ wɔn bɛbɔ wɔn homɔden bia masomdwe mapa edina ne nan so kosisi ebeto aba no awie.
We aim to equip citizens with the knowledge and skills to proactively handle political manipulation and misinformation of all forms. We will encourage citizens to actively participate in the electoral processes, including voting and post-election monitoring. By doing so, we aim to empower Ghanaians to be the stewards of their democratic destiny. We will advocate for the inclusion and meaningful participation of marginalized groups such as women, persons with disabilities, and monetary communities in electoral processes. We will promote the provision of a level playing field for all political parties and candidates, including fair access to the media. The importance of reconciliation among political parties, candidates, and their supporters after election to social cohesion and development cannot be overwhelmed. We will work hand in hand with other institutions and groups to foster readdress and reconciliation after the election. Our role as active agents on the grounds will give us leverage to help broker peace and reconciliation. We will establish a network of community-based peace ambassadors to monitor and report potential triggers of election-related violence to appropriate authorities. Working together with the security service, we will help with rapid response system to address and mitigate incidents of violence or threats to peaceful elections. Our collaboration with security agencies, civil societies, organizations, and other stakeholders will enhance coordination and information sharing on election security. We will hold seminars on peaceful campaigns for supporters of political parties, focusing on students, groups, and associations. We will engage the public on social media on the responsible means and processes of conflict reporting, fact-checking, and countering misinformation and hate speech. We will conduct research into the drivers and dynamics of election-related violence in Ghana. This research would have a sharp focus on the role of political parties and the youth. Data on election-related violence, intimidation, and other irregularities will inform evidence-based intervention and advocacy efforts. Ghana's rich cultural heritage and values are our guiding lights. As Ghanaians, we are rooted in values that transcend time and political cycles. The essence of our identity woven with threads of unity, respect, and resilience. Our ancestors have taught us the importance of living harmoniously, upholding the virtues that defines us as Ghanaians and Africans. In this campaign, we will draw upon these values to inspire a new generation, a generation that values dialogues over discord, unity over division, and peace over conflict. As we embrace our heritage, let us recognize that it is a strength, a testament to our resilience and determination to thrive as one nation. Through the theme, Unity in Diversity, building a peaceful democratic future, we commit to creating a society where our differences enrich us and our commonalities bind us. We stand on the shoulders of those who fought tirelessly for our freedom and democracy. Now, the responsibility falls to us to safeguard this legacy. I call upon every Ghanaian, every leader, every youth, every woman, and every man to join us in this campaign for peace. Let us pledge to the champions of democracy to uphold our heritage, to ensure that the 2024 election is a celebration of our shared values and the beauty of diversity. In conclusion, the Time to Think Foundation, together with the National Commission for Civic Education, stand ready to partner with all stakeholders to ensure that Ghana's 2024 general election are peaceful, credible, and inclusive. We must uphold our heritage and democratic values, embracing unity in diversity as we build a peaceful democratic future for our beloved nation. Let us come together as one people, united by a common purpose to demonstrate to the world that Ghana is indeed a beacon of democracy and stability in Africa, and yet the center of the world.
I am 5 years old. I'm here to represent Central and Eastern region. Together, we can make a difference. I represent Central and Eastern region, but I am committed to promoting peace and understanding. We may have different political views, but we are all citizens of this country. Let's focus on our shared democratic values of freedom, justice, and peaceful coexistence. Credible election institutions are the foundation of a peaceful democratic process. Support their work to ensure a free and a fair election for all. Thank you.